Welcome in our audience who is watching on channel 11.2, KPLR 11.2, and of course at stltoday.com. Go to the opinion tab, ktrs.com, the front page there. You can certainly watch us on TV, and don't forget our app. Our app is so fantastic. And I'm not just saying that because it's our app, but it's one app, one radio station. People use it all over the place. It's simple. It's easy. You know, some of those other apps, it's one app and it's 1,800 different radio stations. It's impossible to find. This one, download the app, go to your app store, search KTRS, download it, and then hit the button, and it refreshes, and boom, all of a sudden it's playing crystal clear anywhere in the country. And, of course, 550 on your AM dial. We're thrilled to have you here. So let's talk a little Stan Kroenke for a second, because this story in the LA Times is just it's too good to pass up. So he's going down to Arizona, and he's going to present his new stadium plans to the owners. The owner of the St. Louis Rams is revealed new plans to build this stadium in Inglewood, California, which is relatively close to LAX, which is interesting because these new plans have some type of glass ceiling on it, some type of glass roof, but it's not a full roof. It's like a sort of a suspension roof, if you will, that allows air to sort of come in, so you'll still get the breezes, but the roof is clear so that you can project advertisements on the roof. Now, you say to yourself, why would there be advertisements on the roof? Well, think of how many people take off and land at LAX airport. So they would sell advertising so that the people on the planes can see the advertisement. Now, I don't know how much money they can make, but how many people go in and out of LAX a year? 5 million people, 6 million people, 10 million people, whatever it is, that's found money. So this stadium is going to be the world's largest billboard. Okay, but that's not the most amazing thing. What's the most amazing thing is that it was revealed, it's a beautiful building, it's revealed that it's going to have it's going to be built for 2 teams. It's going to have 2 different home locker rooms, 2 different home suites, 2 different matter of fact, this stadium's going to be so big and so powerful and so massive that they're going to have 2 separate worlds for their front office. So the front office goes to the left of one team, the front office goes to the right of the other team, so they can house all of the front office people, all within that building. So think about that for a second, right? All of this is in Stan Kroenke's plan. Very similar to Roger Dean in Jupiter, where the Marlins go to the left and the Cardinals go to the right. I would say a much better example is probably MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands, where the Jets and the Giants. When I've only been to a Jet game there, but you can certainly see that it's green and white when the Jets are there, and when the Giants are there, they just flip a switch and it's all these giant screens, and all of a sudden it's blue and white for the Giants, and it's works out very well. But this stadium is built with 2 teams in mind. Now, I've read that story, and I've read it again, and I've read what's on Twitter and on Facebook and everything else. And for the longest time, I have made the mention of the fact that Stan Kroenke, the owner of the St. Louis Rams, wants to build this stadium in Los Angeles with 0 subsidies. Maybe a little bit of government money for a sewer and some roads and some off-ramps and on-ramps, but for the most part, he's going to build it himself. The stadium we're trying to get him to want to build here in St. Louis is where the St. Louis region would put up $450 million for a stadium here on the riverfront. And so we're trying it doesn't sound like we're being very successful into enticing him by paying half the bill. he would rather pay the full bill for this stadium in Los Angeles than half the bill for a stadium here for his team here in St. Louis. So this week and today and tomorrow, and I guess next couple of days, he's going down to the owners' meetings, and he's going to present this stadium proposal to the owners of the NFL teams. Now, this sort of struck me, this new development struck me as odd. And for the longest time, I've been the one who's been saying, look, we're just being duped. This is an exercise in futility. There's no real, he's not going to move here. He'd rather build a stadium with his own money somewhere else than actually build a stadium with our money here. And we've been, we're playing the nice game, and no disrespect to David Beacock and Bob Blitz, and they're doing, they've been given a hand that is impossible to win, and so they're doing the best they can, and so with no disrespect to them, but at some point we've got to leave this relationship with some shred of dignity. And right now we don't have any because we're chasing after him with $400 million saying, no, please, what about us? And he's basically meeting with all the mayors and the people in San Diego, in L.A., and he's, the toast of the town in L.A., and he won't even give us a cup of coffee. Kevin Demoff, you go handle the people in St. Louis. I'm going to work on the people in Los Angeles. But what struck me with this story in the LA Times yesterday, and one in which I have yet to heard anywhere. Now, here's an owner who has a team in St. Louis and is in the process of building one stadium, but he's not building it for one team. So here you have a situation where an NFL owner is going to build a stadium for not one team, but two teams, and neither one of them is going to be his team? Right? So how much egg do we have to have on our face before we just say, it's been fun, we got a Super Bowl out of it, we went to another Super Bowl, we have a lot of fond memories, take care, enjoy yourself. He's building a stadium for two teams, and neither one of those teams is going to be the St. Louis Rams. How much, talk about throwing sand in our face. Talk about being, what is it that we have to do to leave this with some modicum of self-respect? We are St. Louis, and there is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to feel inferior over. We are a great place to live. And if this guy, we support our teams, we root on our teams, we follow our teams, we go above and beyond our teams. We have nothing to be ashamed of and nothing to be sorry for. And if if Stan Kroenke wants to build stadiums for two different teams in Los Angeles, he's not staying here. We are offering him $400 million to stay, and the man will not talk to us. Let's put it into girlfriend-boyfriend terms. It's like buying a ring for your girlfriend to the tune of $50,000, and she refuses to return your phone call. He won't even talk to us. And in what alternate universe are these people in where they think somehow we have a chance to get this done? This is an exercise, and we're not doing it for this team. We're doing it for the next team. Really? Really? Because the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're the ones. The Jacksonville Jaguars have a long-term lease in Jacksonville. We're going to do this for the Oakland Raiders. The Oakland Raiders are really going to move from Oakland to St. Louis. San Diego Chargers are going to move from San Diego to St. Louis. Look, we might get another team, and that's all well and good. But let's put this thing together. Now, one more thing, and then I'll move on. People keep talking about, we lose the Rams, we're never going to get another team. I look at it the other way. And we've already lost the Rams. I don't even know if we ever could have kept the Rams. But I think the L.A. Rams were sealed the day Kroenke bought the team. I really do. I think that was his plan all along. And he just has been working behind the scenes to make that happen. So, people say a two-time loser, you're never going to get another team. I look at it the other way. There hasn't been a city that has lost a team because they wouldn't build them a stadium that ultimately built a stadium for a new team. Let's start with St. Louis. We wouldn't build Bidwell a stadium. He leaves. We build the Rams a stadium. Robert Irsay in Indianapolis. They wouldn't build him a stadium. He left to go to Indianapolis. What did Baltimore do? Baltimore then built another stadium for who? For the Cleveland Browns. Why? Because the Cleveland Browns wouldn't build a stadium for the Cleveland Browns. So the Cleveland Browns leave and go to Baltimore, and they have to change their name. So they become the Baltimore Ravens. So Baltimore built a new stadium for a different team. Cleveland, since losing the Browns because they wouldn't build them a stadium, to get the Browns back, they had to build a new stadium. So the Browns built a new stadium for a new team because they wouldn't build a stadium for the old team. So now St. Louis is now at it again. Now, we're not going to build a new stadium for the team we have again. We're planning on building a new stadium for a third team. That's insanity. Now I know you can't go back, but if we just would have built a stadium for the Arizona Cardinals, they would still be the Phoenix Cardinals. So once the Rams leave, then people are going to be motivated to build another stadium. But as I said, the stadium issue is long gone. The Rams are gone. Just deal with it. We should move on. We should pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, I wish some elected leader would stand up and say, look, clearly you don't want to date us anymore. You don't return our phone calls. You're building a stadium for two teams, neither of which is a team here in St. Louis. We want to give you $400 million. You'd rather build a stadium somewhere else with your own money. Good luck. Take care. We'll see you in the funny papers. All right, 9:22. That's my take on that. 9:22 here, Big 550 KTRS. When we come back, I want to talk about a bill that is sitting on the governor's desk that is subsidizing insurance for